Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and today I have an unboxing of the Spellbinders 2023 April Club Kits. And I'm really excited because back in January, when I did my first club kit videos, I got some feedback, and some folks asked, why the changes to the card kit of the month, and there were some definite opinions. And I at the time, I don't get the card kits of the month, but I requested to get one so that I could have an opinion, because for the folks who were asking me what my thoughts were, I could only tell them based on what I read and could see from other unboxing videos. I'm very familiar with the past club kits before the change that they made, but this is the first one I have in hand. They were kind enough to say, "Oh yeah, we can shoot you over one," and so really excited and grateful that that Spellbinders allowed me to try this out. So I will unbox the card kit for April in this video. I have a live stream planned for today where I'll unbox this again, essentially. But what I'm gonna do in the live stream is actually unbox this and then do a side-by-side comparison with the previous kit. And I'm curious to know what everybody else thinks too, and that's why I want to do that as a live stream, just so that I can get a chance to chat with you folks and get your opinions on the change and what you think of it, and how you've been liking the new kit configuration, if it is something that you are subscribed to. So check for that stream. It's later today at 2 p.m. Pacific. And so I'm not gonna craft with this until after that live stream. So I'm filming this in advance of April 1st, but I won't craft with it. I'll hold off so that I can do that live unboxing and side-by-side comparison. And then I'll craft with it and try to get a video up as quickly as possible. So this will be at the end. Let me go through the club kits that I normally get, and before we get to that one. So the Glimmer of the month. Oh, this one's cool. Okay, so this one a little bit different. So this is the Glimmer plate, and I just have to take this out because I think it's hard to describe it without showing. So this is the coordinating die, and it took me a little bit of time to figure it out, but it coordinates with this section of the Glimmer plate, and it cuts them out as individual sections of foliage. And you might be thinking, oh, well, that's a bummer. How come it doesn't give you like everything? Well, here's the thing. Because it's cutting them out individually, you actually get every unique design that's glimmered. So if you can see here, you've got a single leaf, this is a double leaf, this is 3 leaves, that's 4 leaves, and this is 2, 4, 6 leaves. And so when you die cut this, you're gonna get that single leaf by itself, the double leaf kind of branch by itself, the 3 leaf branch by itself, the 4 leaf branch by itself, and the 6 leaf branch by itself. And so you're gonna get like a huge variety. And the this design here with the 6 leaves, I think is duplicated very nearly, but probably not super identical. So each of these elements, they're a little bit different from one another, but when you die cut it, you're gonna get a lot of variation just in that section. And what you're looking for, there's only one kind of branch that has 2 leaves, and so that's the one. If you're looking for placement, that's how to tell where to place this. It's look for the one with 2 leaves, because that's where the die matches up with the glimmer plate. So so I thought that was really cool. That's the first thing that's kind of cool. The second thing that's really cool is that there's this add-on, and I don't know if this is a separate purchase that is available to get separately, but it's a stencil that coordinates with the Glimmer design. So it's a 2-part stencil. So you have the one, and you might have to figure out, there we go. So this gives you kind of that solid color. And then if you shift it up, this will give you a little bit of like just a half tone. So if you wanted like half of the leaf to be a darker color, for example, so you could go in initially with this, say with like a light green. And then if you wanted like a little bit more depth, a little bit more dimension, you could line this piece up with the Glimmer design, and then ink this up with a darker color, for example. And if you just focus on like one of the petals here, see how the second one, it only really covers half of that leaf design. And so so you could get like your 2-tone leaves that way. And so I thought that's kind of cool, and something that I don't think I have anything like that with my Glimmer plates, like a coordinating stencil from Spellbinders. So I could be wrong on that, but I thought that's gonna be kind of fun to play with. So so that'll be really interesting, especially since these are a lot of like really small areas. So having a stencil and just like inking it up, I think is going to be really fast and easy to get some color on there. Then we've got the large die of the month, and look at how much metal this is, and look at how many sentiments you get. And I love this font too. It's a very I feel like it's a pretty thin typeface, but large font size. And you do get the bubble layer or the shadow layer backing plate, however you like to refer to it as. So if you feel like that thin typeface gets a little bit lost in your design, you've got that backing plate so that you can have that stand out and apart from your background more. And this is like a really neat shape. This kind of zigzag shape along the outside here, and then you've got this die that just cuts the pattern into your card, and you could do some stitching. There are some holes here. I don't get the stitching die of the month club, but this is one that I think is gorgeous by itself. Well, I always think the stitch dies look great by themselves or stitched up. So so this is, right along with that. I think it would look great by itself, but if you wanted to do some stitching, that would be fantastic as well. And because this plate, the second one that has all the pattern and detailing, it does not have an outside or an inside cutting edge. So if you wanted this to be a frame, you could combine it with the inner aperture die. And that would give you an outside cutting edge, a design, and then an inside cutting edge, giving you a complete frame die cut that you can then layer. But you could also leave the inside cutting edge off and then have this just be solid, where you would maybe stamp a focal image or add your die cut sentiments. So we have, in terms of the sentiments, this is hello, this is best, thank you, for, and wishes. So best wishes, thank you, for you. Those are some combinations of how you would use some of those phrases. You could do hello you. So I think that's lovely, and I love word dies, so that's pretty cool. Then we have the small die of the month, and this is kind of neat and really, I think, gonna be fun to play with. So just looking at it here. Okay, so if you look at this die here, the second curvy one, this is a complete outline die. And this is a USA2 card base. So the width of that is 4 1/4. So that can cut you a piece that is contained out of one layer, and you can fit all of the rest of the plates are just designs that cut into your cardstock. None of them have outside cutting edges. So you could use that piece there, layer it up with maybe this at the top, leave a solid space, maybe so that you can stamp a sentiment, for example, and then have one of these plates at the bottom just for like a little extra decorative flourish. But then you could also, this is really cool, you could, instead of using this die, which has a fixed height, because this is a complete outline die, what you could do is cut yourself an A2 panel, and you can line this up, at the top. I think this is a cut line, not a score line. And so you could cut a piece. Of course, you don't really, you could also use your trimmer to cut the straight line. But let's say you were building up your dies. So you could, well, I guess if you were die cutting, it would go like this. So you could do something like this, tape those together so that, they don't move around on you when you're passing it through your machine, right? So you would position that perfectly where you want it. And then let's say you wanted to build up a little bit of a pattern down here with a couple different plates, but have it be like a different height than what this piece would give you. You could then kind of assemble these in whatever order that you like, tape them, run it all through, and then you'd have your panel exactly the way that you want for it to be designed. So they've given different dies so that you don't have to stick to this specific piece here as they've configured it. But then what's also nice is, if you wanted to do a shaped border card, let's say you want your card to be side folding, you could give it this really nice shaped border. Or if maybe you wanted a gatefold and you wanted this to be the shape of the gate, you could do that too. Because it doesn't have the bottom edge die, you've got a lot of flexibility with how you want to use that. So I thought that was kind of cool. I like that they think about how to make the elements versatile so that you get a lot of different options for how you want to build up your design and really make it your own. So I thought that was kind of neat. Something a little bit different. And then all the patterns, I imagine those are all going to look really beautiful die cut. So I'm excited to get into that. Lots of little holes, so I'm guessing you could stitch that up too, and it would look wonderful. Then we have the clear stamp and die of the month. If you're new to the clubs, you get the option of having just getting the stamp by itself, or you can get the stamp with the coordinating dies. And here's the thing that excites me about, okay, I don't know if this has been done before with Spellbinders, but I was really excited when I saw this. So if I've gotten stamp and die sets like this before, I've since forgotten. But here's what I think is cool. This is all one stamp. And then you've got some birthdays, you have a banner, and you've got the coordinating die that will cut out that banner. Here are the other coordinating dies that you get. So I'm going to pull these two out specifically. You do get a die that will cut out Hello You. You do get a die that will cut out this entire stamped image, the design as you see it printed there. But check this out. So you do also get this die. It took me a while to figure this out. Why there were these extra dies when there's only the one big stamp. But when I looked at it more closely, there are a couple of different elements that have spacing in between them, and this is one of them, and it can fit a die right there, and you can cut that out by itself. That little design, that little floral by itself, you can cut out. And similarly up here, that little cluster of flowers and leaves you can cut out with a die. And so that's kind of cool. I don't know that I've necessarily seen the clear stamp and die of the month where there's been the large stamp that's all one stamp, but then you can do like some partial you can die cut partially that stamped image. So that's kind of cool. And then if you wanted to do that, you could either use it as separate elements elsewhere on your project or layer up on top of, your stamped image so that you get a little bit of dimension. So I thought that was kind of cool. Something that feels a little bit different for the stamp and die of the month. Maybe they've done it before and I didn't take special note, but when I saw it this time around, I thought that was pretty neat. Maybe because I was just really proud of myself for figuring it out since it took so long. Then we've got the, I also get the 3D embossing folder of the month, and this looks really neat. So this pattern, so this is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's sort of a, almost like a tiled design. And so there's different patterns in these different sections, which is kind of cool because let's say you're doing a slimline card that is 8.5, the full 8.5. This design all along here would be wonderful as like a border design panel, just like a little strip for your slimline. And then these two different patterns would be great border designs for, say, your USA 2 size card. So this is a USA 2 card base. So these two different designs would be wonderful, going across the bottom or the top of that. And then what you have, and of course this would be 2, and then you could sort of select, or this could be running, the 5.5 direction too on your USA 2. And then the designs in the center, they are more narrow than your USA 2, but they would probably work really well for like a mini slimline, to go edge to edge on a mini slimline, because that's 3.5 right there. So if you do, my mini slimlines I cut to 3.5 by 5.5. So for me, this would work perfect for my mini slimline. And, but if not, you could always use, just this panel and then have some mats and layers beyond it for your A2. And if you didn't want to use it that way, you could use all these elements together. They would look kind of cool. And you could just do like different strips in different colors and then recombine them in an interesting kind of canvas or like little mosaic. So I thought this was kind of cool. It feels like you're getting kind of a lot in one. Most of the patterns feel like they are not directional, with the exception of this one. This looks like the flowers really should be pointed up, and similarly this one here. I feel like the flowers want to be pointing up, but I think all of the other ones, I think you could, have them run up and down, left to right. You can twist and turn them. I think they would work equally in any orientation. So I thought that was cool. Again, something a little bit different, and instead of like an all over pattern, just a lot of different patterns that lends itself well to kind of being cut up and used as smaller segments. So I think that's kind of neat. And that is the 3D embossing folder of the month. I don't get all of the club kits, so there are some out there that I won't be showing because I just don't get those. But as I mentioned at the outset, I did request to try the card kit of the month, and April is the first opportunity they were able to send me out one. So kind of excited, and this particular unboxing will be the first time I've kind of taken everything out to have a look at it. But later during my live stream at 2 o'clock this afternoon, Pacific time, I will unbox it all again and but do a side-by-side comparison to the original card kits of the month from last year and before. So this one's called Happy Skies Ahead. And I'm not going to talk about differences. I'll just talk about what I see. So reading off the contents here, there's 8 cards and 8 coordinating envelopes, and these are USA 2 in size. So this is a textured card. I would have to guess, if I needed to venture, I would guess maybe 80 pound in terms of the paperweight for the card base. Then we get some card panels. Oh, that's nice. So these are already cut down. There's 20 of them. And what it looks like is you're going to get 5 different colors and 4 sheets of each. And so essentially, if you're familiar with US letter size cardstock, this is basically 1 sheet of US letter cardstock that's been cut in 4. Conveniently the exact size for your card panel. So I feel like that makes it really convenient if you're gonna do some mats and layers. You might want to trim a little bit off if you want to see the card base, or if you want to add several mats and layers. But it is nice and convenient that it's already cut down for you, because then you can have that maybe be a base mat and then cut down a smaller piece of pattern paper to go on top. So really, really nice. Good weight and solid color. I feel like this is not as thick as the Spellbinders cardstock. Yeah, it's definitely not as thick. So when you buy the cardstock in the 10 packs from Spellbinders, you can kind of hear as I flick, versus this. So I would say this is maybe also 80 pound or so. I think this is 100. So so there's that. Beautiful colors. I like that it's solid core. So, and I like that it's cut down, so it's convenient, easy to use. Then we get pattern paper. It does not say how many sheets, but I will go ahead and open this and do a quick flick through Oh, they're all different. One, two. I'm guessing there's going to be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Oh. Oh, maybe that's changed. Okay. There's 20 sheets. I think there's always been 20 designs and 2 sheets of each. But again, like I said, I'm gonna try not to do comparisons because it's been a while since I've unboxed the the regular card kit. But what I do know for sure, what I'm seeing is that there's one unique sheet of each design. This is single-sided. It is a paperweight. Thicker than, super cheap copy paper, but paperweight all the same. Which is fine for, look how well that coordinates. Oh, that's nice. Wonderful. Yeah, and this is something that I've always liked about their papers is that you do get a really good mix of like what I'm doing now is just pulling out things that are like simple patterns, simple repeat patterns, or geometrics, and then I might go back and maybe separate out florals, and then you get some that are like larger prints, and then some that are super, itty bitty prints. So when I'm looking to combine multiple pattern papers, I'm looking for two pattern papers that complement each other and don't compete with one another. And these two might be, I picked them up randomly, but they might be a good fit with one another because, there's some yellow here, there's some yellow there. This is a big, bold pattern, lots of white. This is mostly yellow, only just small bits of white. So they coordinate really well, but because the two patterns are so different in size, like this is small repeat, small dense repeat, this is a little bit more spaced out, larger print and pattern. It's when things look a little bit too the same or similar that your eye doesn't quite know what to go to. So for example, here, if your eyes naturally tend to go to, say, something that looks a little bit more solid, you might see this print first. But if your eye goes to differences in color, with the yellows being the same, your eye might pop to the pinks and the corals. So that's sort of how I go about picking my pattern papers. And so when I'm looking at a set of pattern papers, I often like to kind of separate things out so that maybe I'm matching a floral with a geometric, or like I said, a large print with a small print, things like that. So that's why I just naturally start to sort things. But and look at that, kind of a wood grain. So that is the pattern paper. It looks like 20 sheets, single-sided. One design of each sheet. So there's that. Then we get the die cut elements. I'm not going to open this up, but it looks like a very generous amount. It looks like just at a casual glance, it does look like you're getting 2 of each chip or die cut design. So that's great. Oh, this is cool. So, oh, nice. Okay, so you've got some puffy stickers. This is where you're going to get your sentiments from. Lots and lots of different sentiments, little banners, different styles of banners. And then if you want to personalize, put a name or add a different sentiment, you can do that with the alphabet chipboard. And you get repeats. So if you need to spell something that has the same letter twice, you can. If you want to personalize for a particular birthday, like an age, you can do that. There's repeat numbers as well. There's even like a border element down here. Oh, and a couple of other border elements too. And you get some punctuation mark also. So there's a couple of sticker elements. And then you get some more chipboard embellishments. So another place where you can be getting sentiments, because they have a couple that have sentiments here, and another place to maybe get some focal images as well. So you have some of those. These aren't like, they're chipboard, but they're not super duper thick. So I don't think they're gonna trigger extra shipping unless you kind of stack a lot of these up. And then for some embellishments, you get some sequins. And for your basics, you get some foam adhesive, which is pretty dimensional, and then you get the tearaway tape. So what I'm seeing is great because it's gonna be like well suited to folks who don't have additional tools like a die cutting machine, because I don't see dies, or a stamping block or stamping platform, or inks, because I don't see the stamp set anymore. And but even in absence of those two, a lot of these elements did used to come in the kits, and they do give you pretty much everything that you need to create good looking, really nice cards from. Most everything is cut down. Probably the only thing you would need to cut down yourself is your pattern paper. And so you might still need like a paper, some scissors, or a ruler and a craft knife, something to cut with. But I think those supplies are pretty basic, so feels like if you're just getting started, this is a really good kit. Or even if you are experienced, it's a nice sort of quick card kit for putting together some cards, because sometimes it takes some time to die cut and assemble those die cut elements. So you do get, and I think this has always been the case, but you do get a card design and then step-by-step photo instructions on how to assemble or how to put that together, which only uses elements from the kit. So that's really nice. And then of course there's different samples as well. And of course, lots of YouTube video inspiration out there. I hope to help contribute to that, at least for this particular month. So that is the card kit of the month for April. So the flip video I will have ready to go and linked to at the end of this video, and that's where, using the club kits of the month, I create at least one flat, one layered, one interactive, and one pop-up card. So look for that at the end of this video if you haven't already seen it. And then I hope you'll join me later this afternoon. If you're watching this on the 1st of April, I will be live streaming at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and I'm gonna go through the April kit again, and I'm gonna do a side-by-side unboxing with a past card kit of the month, just to refresh my memory on what all is different, and also get to chat with anyone who's joining me live to get your take on the changes that they've made, and as well maybe just explore some pros and cons of those changes. So I hope you'll join me for that if you are available. And until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye!